Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Adele's 2011 album, 21. It's pretty good. There's definitely a lot of good songs on this album, so let's get right into it. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist, which is all of them. This album is really good, and even though all the tracks are good, they do kind of lack a bit of variety. The album flow is alright. But there are only a few songs here that aren't kind of the slow ballad style, so the album sometimes drags on, in my opinion. Plus, the big hits here got really overplayed on the radio, so they probably don't work as well as they originally did. And this is really the album where Adele only writes a few types of songs, and even though she's really good at that type and it's really good, it still can get boring. Even if you're listening to the best type of music, if it's all the same, it could still get boring, especially if you don't like the style a ton. But overall, I think it's still really good because the songs are still really good. So, and it's not the same in terms of this song is the exact same. It's more the same in terms of this is the same type of song. So it can get boring, but it doesn't get as boring as some other not as great artists, I would say. There's only one single released before the album, which was Rolling in the Deep, the first track, which was definitely on the radio, along with Rumor Has It, Turning Tables, Set Fire to the Rain, and the last song, Someone Like You. So this was a really big album for her. Her first album was definitely really good too, but this one really solidified her. My favorite song here, though, probably gotta go with I'll Be Waiting. It's one of the only a few upbeat songs here, and it's quite good. It's kind of a bit different in a sort of very big pool of same songs, in my opinion. This closest competition here was He Won't Go, the sixth track, which is pretty much the only other upbeat song on the album, except for maybe Set Fire to the Rain, and that one I've heard so much I don't think I would label it my favorite here. Now, I rank this album last out of Adele's albums, mostly just out of personal preference. I like her other albums better. I feel they have more variety, and I think they flow a bit better, even though 21 probably has the highest consistency out of all of her albums. It's still really good, but when I'm comparing it against her other albums, I just find I like the other ones more. But 21 does manage to take my top spot from 2011. Although, the only competition is the Portal 2 soundtrack, which is pretty good for a video game soundtrack, but it can't really compete against a more traditionally styled album like 21, especially since 21 is definitely really, really good. This is not sort of a phone it in album, so Portal 2 soundtrack's not beating this. Next up is Taylor Swift's brand new re-release of her 2010 album, Speak Now. I've already reviewed Speak Now, so go click the little iCard to check that out if you haven't. But Speak Now wasn't one of my favorites, but I am relatively interested to see what she does with the re-release, so stay tuned for that and stay minty.